Hey everyone, welcome back. If you haven't watched the previous chapter, make sure to check it out first so you don't miss anything. Alright, let's jump straight into today's story. This wasn't a grand tale of heroes or kingdoms. Just a quiet story, born in a small countryside village on the outskirts of the Magentano kingdom. A small adventure of a girl who lived there. Emily stepped into the manor, bowing politely. "I'm back, Countess." The Countess looked up from her seat. "Come in, Emily." Emily stepped forward, but the moment the Countess saw her, her expression tightened with shock. "Oh my, your face. What happened to you?" A fresh bandage covered Emily's cheek. She hesitated, voice trembling. "Ah, well." And the scene slowly shifted to 1 week ago. 1 week earlier, at Cougar's house. Emily and Cougar stood side by side in front of his home. Emily looked up at it nervously. "Cougar-nim's house. It looks bigger than the other houses." Cougar scratched his head shyly. "Ah, well, my family has been the #1 warrior family for generations. It's kinda like nobles in a human village." Emily's eyes widened. "So, Cougar-nim was basically a noble." Her heart tightened with worry. "Will Cougar-nim parents even like me?" Cougar gave her a reassuring smile. "Don't worry. My parents are warm people." But the moment they entered the house, that belief shattered. Cougar's parents were waiting, both staring with sharp, harsh expressions. Emily froze instantly. Sweat rolled down her cheek. Cougar stepped forward confidently. "I want to marry this person." Emily stuttered, trembling. I am Emily." "Warm? They really do seem warm. I'm sweating a lot." Cougar's mother stepped forward slowly. "So your name is Emily?" "Why, yes, mother." Without warning, she slammed a giant slab of meat onto the table in front of Emily. Thud. Then she screamed, "Take this and get lost. How dare you look at my son?" "Mother, what are you saying?" Cougar shouted. Emily could only sweat harder, terrified. Cougar's mother clicked her tongue. "Know your place, you cute-looking girl." Emily blinked in confusion, then gave a small, awkward blush. "Thank you, mother." That only made the woman explode. "What? How shameless can you be? We don't need a lovely daughter-in-law like you. Get out." Emily stood frozen. She couldn't understand anything that was happening. Cougar stepped forward angrily. "Stop it. If you keep talking like this, I'll leave this family." He didn't finish. A fist slammed into his face. BM. Blood spilled from Cougar's mouth as his mother roared. "You're not leaving until you're a corpse, you brat." Emily's eyes widened in horror. The orc mother leaned closer, her eyes burning. "I'll say it again. That cute face doesn't suit our family. For orcs, intimidation is the most important thing." She pointed proudly at herself. "That's why we orcs are usually ugly. And our family is one of the fiercest and ugliest of them all." Emily stared at their faces, but she didn't see ugliness. She only saw beauty. How am I supposed to explain to them that they look the opposite of what they think? Talking won't solve this. Before she could collect herself, another female voice echoed from behind. A young orc woman strutted toward them with jealousy burning in her eyes. "You coldly rejected my proposal. And this is the girl you brought home to marry? Queek." She burst out laughing. "Uft. I didn't know your taste was small, huggable, pretty smile girls." Emily blushed shyly. "Thank you." The woman's expression darkened. "Huh. How shameless can she be?" Cougar turned back, furious. "Sharona, this is a family matter. Stay out of it." Sharona didn't hold back either. With a furious snarl, she punched Cougar straight across the face. BM. Blood splattered from his mouth as she screamed. "When you were 4, you said you'd marry me. You fraud." Emily gasped in panic. "Cougar-nim." At that moment, Cougar's father finally stepped forward, raising a heavy hand to silence everyone. "That's enough. Marriage is supposed to be about the couple's feelings. But without the family's blessing, even strong hearts grow heavy." He turned to Emily with serious eyes. "Miss Emily, if you have a way to convince Sharona and everyone else, will you try it?" Emily stood silent for a moment. Then she clenched her fists, determination blazing. "I will. Because I love Cougar-nim." The scene shifted to the orc training arena. Emily stood there holding a wooden practice weapon, while Sharona held her own massive club. Dozens of orcs gathered around, roaring with excitement. The announcer shouted, "From now on, we begin the Balpango hunting match. To determine Cougar's bride." Emily froze. Huh. Before she could protest, the announcer roared, "Start. Hunt more monsters." Gates burst open, releasing wild balpango charging toward them. Hunt more monsters, or knock your opponent out. Then you win. On the sidelines, Cougar tried to rush forward, but his father grabbed him in a necklock to stop him. Cougar struggled desperately. No, Miss Emily. His father held him tighter. Stay put, Queek. That pretty girl made her choice. Sharona was already swinging wildly, smashing boars left and right. Meanwhile, Emily sat down on the ground, hugging her head, trembling as the boars ran toward her. But then, nothing happened. No boars touched her. Emily looked up slowly. The boars were simply staring at her. And from their perspective, their thoughts echoed clearly. Small. Weak. Intimidation none. They all turned their heads toward Sharona. Ugly. Strong. Intimidation high. Without hesitation, all 10 boars charged straight at Sharona from both sides. Sharona's eyes widened. What? The boars hit her like a storm, knocking her down and piling on top of her. Cougar's father roared in shock. All 10 went to Sharona. Emily let out a deep breath. She stood up slowly, grabbing her wooden spear-like weapon. Then something unexpected happened. Her muscles tensed, her clothes stretched, and raw strength surged through her arms, her blood blazing. With a fierce cry, Emily spun and hurled the weapon with all her might. It tore through the air like a spear of lightning. Bam! 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 Sending every single boar flying off Sharona. Dust exploded across the arena. Emily stepped forward, voice firm and proud. Your opponent will be this girl from Frontera. The moment Emily declared her challenge, all the boars turned their attention toward her. Hooves thundered. Dust exploded. They charged straight toward her like a wall of living muscle. Sharona watched in panic. That pretty girl. If she just stayed back, she'd win. Why is she stepping forward? A human girl standing alone. The orcs fell silent. They saw it clearly. A fragile human girl, standing proudly against terrifying balpango boars. She wasn't fighting for victory. She was fighting because she refused to let someone else get hurt. Fighting out of pure kindness. And in the end, the match ended 6-4. Sharona wins. The arena settled into silence. The boars lay scattered, and Emily collapsed face, exhausted. Sharona walked toward her slowly. Hey, human. Emily looked up weakly. Sharona standing beside her, staring with a strange mix of frustration and admiration. You, looking all cute and adorable and bite-worthy. I wondered how you seduced Cougar. She paused. Her voice shook, and tears gathered in her eyes. Turns out, you've got forearms more ferocious and brave than any warrior. Emily's eyes softened too, shimmering with tears. Before the moment could settle, Cougar's father roared proudly. Give a cheer for the tiny, elite, but brave warrior. Cougar's mother crossed her arms with a dramatic huff. Humph, can't beat that. But even she smiled. And Emily smiled back. They had accepted her. Completely. Scene shifted to Frontera territory, the wedding. The scene brightened. Bells chimed through the Frontera territory. Emily and Cougar stood together in wedding attire, glowing with happiness. Lloyd and Javier sat as guests, clapping politely. Javier leaned closer. Your horns keep going in and out. Lloyd sighed. Yeah, thankfully. He looked at Emily and Cougar's smiling faces. And suddenly, lines from a novel surfaced in his mind. It was mentioned early in Night of Blood and Iron. Count Cremo had asked Javier. Then, what happened to the servants who worked for the fallen Frontera family? And Javier had answered with a heavy voice. They were sold as slaves. All of them. Lloyd's expression hardened. He stood up. Let's go, Javier. Let's finish this quickly. Javier nodded. Yes. This is an ordinary story. A simple village. On the countryside on the outskirts of the Magentano kingdom. A story of a girl who escaped the fate of slavery and found happiness instead. Emily's ordinary, precious, miraculous story. And that wraps up today's chapter. If you haven't watched the previous part yet, make sure to check it out. You don't want to miss any of the story. The next chapter will also be live very soon, so stay tuned. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.